Our first guest is Richard Waltzer. He's the founding principal in Splash Tropical Drinks. And Splash is the leading manufacturer of beverages to the hospitality industry. He specializes in custom development of private label beverage concentrates. He's been doing that for the past 13 years, and the products are distributed throughout the U.S., the Caribbean, Central, and South America. Mr. Waltzer was the first American to negotiate a contract with the Cuban government since 1959. He did this in 2002 for agricultural products to be exported out of the U.S. to Cuba. Mr. Waltzer is one of the founding members and chair of the board of the Havana Group LLC based in Las Vegas. The Havana Group is a strategic consulting consortium that assists companies in creating and implementing comprehensive policies and procedures to approach business transactions with Cuba in a legally compliant manner. Here is Richard Waltzer. Richard?
Thank you. Well, this is great to be able to come to Tampa from Fort Lauderdale. It's a great turnout. We had one in Miami with John Bedard. The more that we do this, it's going to really expose the economic issues between Cuba and the U.S. and what we need to do for the future. Back in 2002, September 2002, there was a very small trade show of American companies that were licensed through OFAC, the Office of Foreign Asset Control, to be able to go down and show our products. Some large companies were there, Cargill, ADM, some large conglomerates, and we were fortunate to be able to go down, meet with the Cubans. They have a division called Al Import, which is the procurement arm of the Cuban government. And they do all the negotiations for all the contracting around the world for all the products that they need. And what we're able to do as American businesses that are licensed through OFAC and also the Bureau of Security and Industry, which is a division of the Commerce Department, we're able to negotiate contracts through a third-party bank. That's how we're being paid, and to be able to market our products. And there's no limit on the amount of money that we're able to spend in the marketing and advertising of our products in Cuba. It's a great opportunity. I want to say that Alfredo Duran was absolutely correct in reference to how Cubans want to go down there, Cuban families, and to spend money to show how it can help the Cubans and release themselves with the government that's in place. What's the first thing that a Cuban family is going to do when they go there? They're going to go to the supermercado, the supermarket. They're going to look for all the American products that they can find, and they're going to fill up the cupboards of the in the kitchens of their Cuban families. So what we want to do is bring American branded products to the supermarkets in Cuba, as many agricultural products as we can, as soon as we can, because the more that they see that these are the quality products and that they can live a different type of life, it's only going to benefit them in the future, and it's going to release the control that's happening there right now. And we have a great opportunity in the future. One of the experts that we deal with legally, if there's any businessmen out there that want to do business in the future, you're going to need to be licensed through OFAC. You're going to need to be legally compliant. And the expert in this field, his name's Dr. Tim Ashby. He's a PhD, MBA. He's a two-time presidential appointee from Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. He's part of a legal law firm in Washington, which is the most powerful political law firm in Washington. It's called Sun & Shine. He runs the Cuba business division. He actually is handling all of the over 5,000 commercial claims that are against Cuba. He's handling all of that in the U.S. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me later, and I can give you information about talking to Tim Ashby and Sun & Shine. He's who you need to deal with first to make sure you're legally compliant when you want to start American business. Outside of legally, we've also, I was featured on Fox Business News May 22nd to talk a national live TV interview to where there was some discussion about trading with Cuba and what we could do in the future if there were any issues or impacts. And obviously on Fox, they tried to do a little bit of political spin, but I would answer those questions very neutral. In the future, I think it's very important for us to take a step-by-step process, because the Cuban mentality and the way they do business is not the way we do business here. If American business was like a box and you turned it inside out 20 times, then you have the Cuban business model. There is no, if you have a product that we're going to sell there and we're exporting it, it actually goes to the port, there is no incentive for a Cuban distribution system to actually bring that product to the end user unless they're told by the party itself, the Cuban committee, from the top down, to take that product and bring it to a hotel or bring it to any type of business. It's not going to happen. So you have to understand their mentality. You have to build I'd say, somewhat of a political relationship with them. You have to build trust, and then over time, you're able to build your business and your business model. When this opens up, and it will open up in the future, there's not going to, I don't believe that we're going to be able to rush in there and change everything overnight. It's not going to happen. Everything's going to be step by step. The tourism industry is where their economy is going. I believe that they're going to model the new Cuban economy after Vietnam. They're still communist, but it's changed to a capitalist system. Based on that capitalist system, all the branded names are going to be there. Billions of dollars are going to be invested there. It's going to be a huge opportunity for Cuba in the future. And I think by going and meeting with Jorge Bolaños in Washington a few times that I've met with him, they're very happy to meet with Florida representatives or business executives to show that we're trying to normalize relations with Cuba. Jorge Bolaños is the most highly decorated Cuban diplomat, and he's based at the Cuban consulate in Washington. The bottom line to this is dollars and cents. They talked about $1 million in political money that's going to steer a presidential election. If everybody in your community starts putting political money in the Democratic National Committee's fund and saying, we want this money going towards this Cuba issue, I can guarantee you that the amount of money that's in Miami that was the issue, which was holding on to this political issue for 50 years, it's over. There's enough political votes now in Congress and the Senate to push things along. We already know which way this is going, but it has to do with money, dollars and cents. If we push that, it's going to change. Travel's going to change, and the economic embargo is going to go away. Obama can't sign an executive order. That has to come from an act of Congress to change this embargo. But the dollars that are steered towards the congressmen and the representatives, that's what's going to change this issue.
All right. Thanks, Richard. And we're going to open up